Hi, beautiful souls. Welcome to Soul Tales podcast with your friend Ankita Juneja. I'm back again here for all of you with another episode. Lately, I was talking with all of you about action, execution. I know those episodes were little deep and intense, so I just thought let's just cheer you all up and take this conversation a little lighter. So, in this particular episode, I would like to talk with all of you about spending time with yourself and how you can take better care of yourself because life can't always be about execution. So, I want all of you to have balance of both the things. Sometimes there are days when we are working, but there are other days when we equally need to rest. So, in this video, we will be discussing why it's important to take rest, small breaks, and how we can make it exciting for ourselves to even enjoy this break because if you're so used to of just working, if you're a workaholic somewhat like me, it might be difficult for you to take break. Even during sleep, I find at times it's harder for me to fall asleep. That's why with me, it's a ritual that before I go to bed, before my sleep time, I spend 1 to 2 hours just by myself, relaxing my body, mind, doing meditation so that when I go for sleep, I am sleeping peacefully and restfully. Because if I don't give myself that time, I see like my entire sleep is a bit disturbed. So if you're someone like me who is so active with mind, you might find it challenging to just go and sleep because that thing doesn't work with me unless I don't give myself time and space to settle down, to calm my mind, because in a daytime my mind is really active. I'm doing lot of things, I'm working on lot of things, so my mind is quite an act. And if you have little understanding about numerology, I'm born on 4th, so you can just relate to it like my head space is always active. For me to sleep peacefully, I have to rest my mind first, then only I'm able to sleep properly. So if you are someone who is very active with mind, who has lot of things going on in the mind, then I highly recommend that before you go to sleep, take it easy and calm yourself down, because if you don't calm yourself down, you might find it challenging to sleep peaceful. So I just wanted to share this my process because I find it useful when I calm myself. Coming back to another thing, I wanted to say to all of you, understand friends, there are days when we are so active, we are so busy. Because if you ask me, my 10 days have been really hectic for me and I was not giving myself much of rest because I will be traveling soon. I just needed to finish my podcast video, so there were a lot of things that was going in my life, but I also know the importance of taking rest, so I highly recommend that you equally balance things out. Also, let me tell you one thing, the reason I was able to push myself to finish lot of things during this 10 days is because before that I was in pause, so I was not doing and taking so much action during that time. That's why when I restarted things, I was able to do things with more productivity. Why? Because I have given myself enough time and space during the pause. That's why I saw that when I restarted my things, I was crazily busy, frankly speaking. But I was able to cope up with that because I had full rest time as well. And that's how in reality life goes as well. You cannot be on the go. And I see this as a challenging part with people around me as well. If we are so used to of just, taking action and going and doing things, you will find it challenging because you will experience burnout otherwise. And I also want to say one more thing. The way we appreciate productivity, I think we also need to appreciate the hibernation mode as well. You cannot always be on the go. Understand one thing. But what I see is, when people are resting, when people are slowing down, they just feel like they are good for nothing, but that's not the case, because the more you give yourself pause, the more you take rest, you will see like you are more productive. Why? Because you are in that settled space, and you will see the difference when you take pause, and whenever we restart doing things, we see a huge difference, even shift in energy as well, because that what even I have experienced during this pause and restarting my work. My entire energy and the way I restarted things, the way I was approaching things have shifted a lot. I was finding a different energy inside of me when I was doing podcast and videos, whereas towards the end of season 2 I was finding it bit challenging for myself to show up. My energy was not supporting. So if you are in this phase where your energy is not supporting, that's a great sign that you need to take pause, you need to take time out. That doesn't have to be long enough. Even a day at times make a big difference as well. But when you are in that space, place where things are not going, where it's not too active, be with yourself. We have to appreciate these pauses, because even during this pause, we are gaining clarity to restart things. When I was in pause, I was getting a lot of ideas. Why? Because my energy was not drained at that point of time. But if we see it as like, something not so productive, you will just beat yourself even during that pause. So I would say just take it easy. If you're in pause, just be in that pause. If you're in break, enjoy that break. Life cannot always be about action, as I've mentioned before. I'm emphasizing a lot over here about it is because what I see is we are not comfortable being with our mind. That's why we chase action at times. That's a kind of a dopamine which we get by taking action, but that's not a healthy one as well. I am not saying that you don't take action and be lazy, but what I'm saying is equally schedule rest in your days. I would say whatever you're doing, do and give it your 100%. But when you're in break, give yourself this grace and time to experience that break as well. I see myself also, whenever I go in break, whenever I am in that pause, I feel like, nothing exciting is happening. I feel low, but I also see that low energy is also sometimes good, because if we are always in that hyperactive mode, we won't have energy to perform at our best. That's why it's needed that we take that rest. So over here, I just want to say you all that give yourself the time and space to feel, to rest, to enjoy, go out, spend time in nature, spend time with your loved ones if you feel like, if you can afford and if you can do that. That's a really great therapy at times, because just spending time with your friends and family makes a lot of difference. And when you speak your heart out, when you share your things, you see that you are also gaining clarity, because that has really happened with me during this time of pause, where I was connecting with people, where I was having random conversation with strangers as well. But those conversations were really helpful, and the reason I was able to absorb whatever was coming towards me is because I was in pause. I was not in the action mode, and back of my mind, I was not in that energy where I'm just doing things. So I was more open for the feedback. I was more open for the suggestion that needed to be changed in my podcast or in my YouTube or with any other work of mine. But that only happened when I was listening to others, because when we are in our own work style, we hardly communicate and we hardly interact with others. Why? Because our job, our work always keeps us occupied. Therefore, it's essential that we prioritize these breaks with people, having conversation even with stranger, with new people, to build new connections, because that's how we grow in life. If we are just limited with the people around us, we won't be able to get the new insight, right? In that case, go out and wherever you feel comfortable. I don't know what makes you feel good in that case, but I would suggest that go and meet new people. Be open. If you can travel, whatever suits your lifestyle, I would highly encourage you do that. Because what I have seen is even a shift of place, whenever I go somewhere, it just brings me in a fresh energy, and that's equally needed for me to come up with new ideas as well. And I personally place myself into a lot of places, and even if I don't go out, I read books and I consume something which gives me a lot of insight, because at times I don't feel like going physically out and being out there, but I love to indulge into books. I love reading. I love listening to podcasts, YouTube videos, which helps me in my growth. So whatever suits your style, I would say that you should do that. And also on a daily basis, I have this ritual where I go and listen to podcast. Why? Because something on a regular basis needs to be consumed by me. That's my lifestyle, where I opt for thing which is helping me in my personal growth. It's like a food for brain. Unless I don't give myself some good positive thoughts, information, I don't feel good. It's just like, the way we consume healthy foods to keep our body healthy. Similarly, you have to go and you have to seek out the information which keeps your mind healthy. Trust me, friends, if you adopt this habit, this lifestyle, you will see your life changing and shifting tremendously, because I have observed this in my personal life as well. The moment I started this practice since like 4 years now, I would say, all this journey has been for me around 4-5ish years only, because that's where my real transformation started to happen. Before that, I was just outward with friends and all. That was altogether a different lifestyle of mine. But this 4-5 years has been a really growth years for me, because this was the time when I started giving myself what I needed from outside. So I see like this has been a significant factor in my growth, where I go and listen, read, and consume things which is helping me and giving me a different insight. Because if you have limited information, your mind will also become limited. So you have to put yourself out there through various mediums, whatever interest and makes you fancy, you can choose that thing. But I would suggest start doing that thing rather than consuming drama and all those things. I would suggest you pursue things which helps you in your personal growth. I also do a lot of personal development courses, and I offer courses on Skillshare as well because I love Skillshare. I am using Skillshare premium version almost like 3 years, I would say now. And this is not by any means partnered with Skillshare. I'm just sharing my honest opinion with all of you that yes, I do use Skillshare, at times Udemy as well, depending upon what I want to learn. But all these platforms, even YouTube, has really helped me grow a lot in my journey. And the benefit with Skillshare, what I have seen is that is a very organized platform where it's like, you're doing a course. So I have personally used and found it really useful, and I'm just sharing with all of you what I have benefited from. And this is not partnered or sponsored with them, so I'm just sharing my opinion. I just wanted to give it as a disclaimer. So whenever I will partner with any of the brand, I will tell you upfront. So friends, whatever I share with you over here at this initial stage, those are my honest opinion and my honest experience with all of you, the things which is helping me, the podcast or resources that's happening me, because I feel if I share with all of you, you can also benefit. So that's how I keep the intention and share my things with all of you. So I would say go and explore whatever catch your fancy, explore those things. You can even try Skillshare's free 1-month trial as well. If you find it useful, you can opt for premium. They have this thing, if I'm not wrong, because initially even I have opted for 1 month free through something. So I think they give you as a trial 1 month free. So just look out for that. If it can benefit you in any which way and form, I'll be glad about it. So I'm just sharing from that side. So I would just say on a concluding note, that always have this mindset where you are getting into self-growth, you're listening, reading, researching, taking courses, because that's what the journey is about. Whatever interest you have, you don't have to have the interest like me, but any profession you are in, whatever makes you feel good, go and do that. You will see a big shift in your altogether life. I can promise you that thing because I have experienced this in my life. So my friend, today's journal prompts are: what are the things that you can take? What are the courses you can opt for which will benefit you with whatever areas you are struggling at the moment? It can be in any way, personal, professional, any way. Just write it down. Second prompt for all of you is: what can you do differently that will make you feel good in this break? Either is going for a trip, a day trip, talking to a friend. Schedule it, and I'm sure you will be able to make it happen. Because if you schedule, I'm sure you will make it happen. For this episode, I'll just keep it as a 2 because I'm not getting any third one, frankly speaking. I think this 2 shall really help you to find your answers and do this exercise. So friends, just enjoy with this journal prompt. The intention with this journal prompt is to give you something to take action after listening, and it's just impromptu from my end, giving you call to action kind of things to execute. And I hope that you're enjoying this journal prompt with me. So my friends, let me know in the comment section below what are you planning to do and what you do during the pause. I'm looking forward to read and know about you more. So feel free to comment and let me know what your take on this topic is about. Stay tuned for upcoming episode. I hope this episode was helpful to you some way or the other. Sending you lots of love and light. Signing off from my side. Until next time, keep shining bright. Bye bye.